Hello, everyone. I'm Tommy Tardis, and welcome to Tommy's Universe. Hi, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Who versus Who. This is part 4. Ooh, I know, very exciting. And I'm joined by my time lady, Liz. How are you, Liz?
I'm not bad at all. How are you?
I'm good. It looks like you're inside a TARDIS itself.
Well, yes, I'm in an undisclosed location today.
Brilliant. I love it. Like it could be the real Torchwood. You never know.
Hey, I'll never tell.
You got some clocks behind you, so it looks like, and some wheels up on the ceiling. That's good to keep track of time.
Like
And
I've
some
got some
sticks.
creatures back there too, I think.
Oh yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Right, so this is part 4 of Who versus Who. If you haven't seen the other videos, I recommend to go back in time. Let's catch up with them. I'll show a link somewhere over here or there. I don't know where that's going to be. But so we have a new group of monsters. This one would be, I think it's very interesting. Some might be hard to understand, but I think this is quite be an interesting one. So we'll kick it off with round number 1, which I believe is not number 1, obviously, but we've done number 1 before. But this is the next round.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we have in this round Cassandra, brilliant, versus the Sylphine.
Slovene.
Slovene.
Slovene, yes.
Great name.
This has got to be another like claw dead. Like I
love
what
it.
Is Cassandra gonna do?
I think we beat the record.
Yeah, I just don't feel like there's nothing. There's just like I took some notes. I tried to give her every option. Like she has no adrenaline to smell. They can't inhabit her body because she's only one piece of skin. But on the other hand, claw dead.
Claw dead. Yeah.
So
I think Cassandra, I think you've lost this round. I got nothing to say, Liz. I can't add anything in because that's going to happen.
Yeah. What's she going to do?
If this was a politics debate, she might have a chance, but...
and like, even if you gave her 2 moisturizing dudes with acid, they'd still be dead before they reached for the I mean, there's nothing. You're up against 8-foot tall people with giant claws who can smell adrenaline and fear. So like,
I agree.
What are you gonna do?
So sadly, Cassandra, you have lost this battle. Bye-bye. And the Sylphine, yeah, there we go. I said it at last.
Slovene. They don't make it easy.
Can't say it. This is the best round for dyslexic. Yeah, this is the. I've been trying to pronounce all these words and I can't. So you might be helping me.
Today. There's a lot of words today.
Right. Okay. The next battle, next round we have the Sycorax. Yeah, Sycorax.
Yeah, cigarettes.
Cigarettes. There we go.
Correct.
I forgot it's Doctor Who, not proper English. Yeah.
It is definitely not proper English. Besides, they don't even speak English.
Versus the Sisters of the Plenitude. Plenitude?
Plentitude, I think. But
Me
I'm
too.
not 100% on that. I just
No,
assumed
not
that-
me. The Scary Cat Nuns, I should be calling them.
Yes.
AKA the Scary Cat Nuns. Yeah. Okay. Just to recap, the Scary Cat Nuns, for instance, was in the new Earth episode with David Tennant and
and there was
Billy Piper.
one in Gridlock.
Yes, and the Face of Bo was in that episode as well.
Yeah,
if you remember that.
in both of them. Yeah.
So these Scary Cat Nuns, for instance, are we see them in the episodes in one of the scenes. They bring their claws out.
Yes.
And they're quite aggressive, you know.
Yeah, they have like fangs.
Oh yeah, fangs as well. So just just because the picture makes them, cats are nice, but not all cats are.
Cat's claws are also pretty deadly, as anybody who's had a cat will tell you.
So
and imagine that on a larger scale. So they're not defenseless by any. Other one of the interesting things about this is that they wouldn't be able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Because the Sycorax doesn't speak other things than I looked it up. Sycoraxan or something like that.
Sycoraxan. Yeah.
So like they don't speak a common language. They wouldn't get to talk to each other.
I've been trying to look at the episode, and like we don't really see them fight really. Just that one character at the end with David Tennant, because so obviously they're like they're there they came to Earth to take over Earth. That was the idea, wasn't it? And so they must have weapons, daggers, and all sorts. Well, we saw them had swords, didn't they?
Well, what they had was that death whip thing that turns people into a pile of bones.
As you do, yeah.
Yeah, they had like this death whip thing, and
well, I can see that as that's on him on his side. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he has a big, massive staff.
Remember, like that's why Harriet Jones was just like, I've seen what they've done to the individual humans, because it's not just like what they would do to the whole Earth, but like they actually killed people outright. So, but they've got like that, and they're like, they're sort of a smoldering pile of bones after that, which.
So that could be an advantage in a way of if they're starting from a distance and they have to get to each other.
Yeah.
I think.
Plus, the Sycorax have an exoskeleton.
Yeah. So the Sycorax, I think you would probably win this round because you would crack that whip and.
I'm right there with you.
So the Scary Cat, then, unfortunately, you run out of lives and you're gone. So Sycorax, you're through. Brilliant. Right, we're going through this quite quickly. But
that's okay, because the last one is going to be really difficult. So
yeah,
we're gonna need the time there. So let's get these out of the way and like death dealt. Moving on.
That's brilliant. Right, the next round we have. This is great. Another name of exciting dyslexia for Tommy is Silurians.
Yeah.
People think Tommy's definitely not a fan.
Hey,
if Doctor Who was a karaoke, I would nail this by now. It's just I've never talked about these monsters before.
Yeah.
Now that's a new thing, Doctor Who karaoke we need to make, definitely. I don't know how that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know what, like, it's not full of music with words,
Well,
but I mean, you could do parodies of songs, I suppose, with
yeah,
Whovian style lyrics,
there's some fun Doctor Who fan songs out there I've seen. So,
Yeah.
right.
We've
So,
already started one with didn't they like um in reference to Missy, oh Missy, you're so fine.
oh yes, gosh,
Like
we
they
need,
have
we need to make a
they
playlist.
started. Huh?
We should make a playlist and
Yeah, they start well, and then like if you go back to what's that called? I think it's called The End of the World. It's the second episode of Christopher Eccleston.
mhm.
Um they play a couple of songs. They play Toxic.
Oh yeah,
And
they didn't they? And also, and the Master had that song.
yeah.
I forgot what song it is.
Interesting fact about the iPod that they brought on to the station for the Death of Birth. Um, that's a Wurlitzer 1015, and not only did it not play 45s, which are the kind of records that they had in it, it played 78s, which are like really old technology, way before things like Britney Spears.
Wow,
So my dad used to restore jukeboxes, which is why I know what.
that's good. I thought you could say your daddy stole Britney Spears vinyls.
My father has no Britney Spears vinyl. As a matter of fact, I
Brilliant.
don't even know if there is any Britney Spears
Sorry,
vinyl.
Britney. Hashtag free Britney. Sorry, Britney.
Yeah,
Right. So we go back to Who versus Who.
yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Karaoke aside, let's move back.
So,
Who are the Florians fighting? That's the thing to
okay,
talk about.
their versus they're going to be fighting is the Teller. I
Yeah.
like the Teller.
Mhm.
Just to remind people again, the Teller is from the Time Heist episodes when they're breaking into a bank. So and the Teller also, like, I remember I was reading, it can sense your fears or senses your guilt, so,
Yeah.
and it can also then melt your brain into soup, a
Yes.
soup bowl. So
It's
that's
a
nice
way
to
to
know.
tie your brain.
I think that obviously they put out a certain frequency. That's how they do it. They don't have to touch you. They can just,
Yeah.
like, like a brainwaves type of idea.
Yeah. And they will turn your brain into a milkshake.
And yeah, into
And
mushroom soup.
yeah, and obviously there's no recovering from
No,
that.
there's not.
But so my question with this one is, like, I can't see why they'd be fighting each other.
Again, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, because we know the Teller, for instance, at the end of that episode, is not really doing it out of its own.
No.
It's been manipulated because its partner, it's his girlfriend, to say, is stuck, captured, against its
Yeah.
life. So, but I think the Teller would obviously fight back if it was suddenly gunned down by Silurians.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember. So the I know they can have venom from their tongues, the Silurians. I'm
No,
trying to remember if that's a shooting thing or like you have to be close to them thing.
I I know it. Yeah, they do have a long tongue. They do like they can strangle the necks probably. Like it's that.
Yeah, but they
It's a
also
lizard, really, isn't it?
there's a venom as well they can release.
Yeah, and they do carry those guns with the circle thing around. They have a gun,
Yeah,
don't they? So
yeah, they also have legit weapons.
yeah,
But I feel like the tongue is probably the thing that's going to give them the advantage because you can see somebody going for a trigger, but you're not looking for them to go at you with their tongue.
yeah, that's right.
So the teller could have a reaction to them like trying to shoot him. But like, is he watching their face, like their mouth to,
Yeah, well, the teller straight away could like put out that brainwave. You know, it
Yes.
it disarms people.
I guess
So
it depends on why they're fighting.
yeah, we'll put him in that black box of doom.
Yeah, if they're both in there and they need to kill each other, I imagine the brainwave is probably faster than the tongue.
Yeah, because we never know what the teller is. Like this species, for instance, it's not from Earth, so
Yeah,
it could, you know, and also it would probably take a lot of venom straight away to take, you know, it wouldn't happen straight away. I wouldn't think
yeah.
the venom, like it would get into his body. Um,
But that would just be a stalemate because
yeah, yeah,
well, they technically had already killed him, but he just hasn't been. He's not just dead yet because the
no.
venom has gone through.
So I think the
So
teller would definitely use its brainwave straight away. Like that's his own only defense mechanism. Because it is
if they
just
know
a
that they're
defense.
supposed to be fighting,
Yeah,
the Silurian doesn't have to move first to make the teller attack. If
no,
they're just going to come in and
because it
attack each
knows
other.
as well. The teller knows it's going to attack. It's going to be attacked by this thing.
Well,
Because
they
it
wouldn't feel
knows,
guilty about that.
it senses it. Yeah. So what do you think?
I think that if we're going with the supposition that they're both going in there to attack each other, I'm going to say the teller is going to be faster.
Okay, so teller, I think you have won this battle. So it's goodbye, Solarians. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
Versus the teller, unfortunately, you have gone, and the teller, you have survived another battle.
Yep.
For another day, right? We get into the bit.
Next round.
Next rounds. Okay. This next battle is the Ice Warriors versus the Sandmen.
This is harder.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of people would know the Ice Warrior. It's an old classic one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And who was the doctor in the old ones with the Ice Warrior? Do you remember?
Oh, they came across several doctors.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one particular one. The episodes I remember the most are from the third Doctor generally, but I mean there's a lot of doctors.
And the recent time we've seen him was in that submarine, wasn't it? With the Matt Smith one, is that right? Or was it Peter? I think it was Matt, wasn't it?
I think it was Matt Smith.
Matt and Clara, yeah. And the Sandmen, yeah. It's the last time we saw that was Clara again.
Yeah.
And it was Peter Capaldi's doctor, yeah.
Yep.
So I've been looking on that website that you recommended, that the fandom
in the TARDIS section.
Yeah, the TARDIS section. And
a lot of information.
It's great. It's really useful. I try to put a link on this video on the description.
Yeah.
So the Sandman was created in the 38th century. Yeah, made by a human sleep dust. But
yeah. This is further attempts to make us be afraid of like things that are really normal, like the sleep you get caught in your eyes and stuff.
That's right. Like and the Sandman could break apart into piles of sleep dust as well that were also released into the air that could gather information. The Sandmen were also blind and relied on their hearing to hunt and consume their prey. So that's maybe interesting to fact about that.
Well, and how they get you is by pulling you into themselves.
Yes, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
So that to me is a very interesting way of.
It's like a deadly hug, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, I think that this is not my final thing, but this one of the things about this is that because we're in a room
Hmm.
in an unspecified location, and they're not in their normal habitat, the ice warriors are slow. So I think that's at
Hmm.
least one thing in the Sandmen's favor, that like catching them and stuff. Um, but the ice warriors do have like claws and stuff as well, so they're not 100%.
Yeah, and the name obviously Ice Warriors. Obviously, do they have anything that's ice related as a weapon in them,
Well, ice
or
warriors,
it's just
it
because the Ice
actually
Age in it?
it refers to, because they're from Mars. They're
Okay.
like the original inhabitants of Mars. And the idea was that it was cold, and so that's where they kind of they had several other names. I'm trying to remember them, but they could be killed by sudden intense heat. Um,
Oh, okay.
because they're from such a cold environment.
Mm.
But they've been called Martians. They've been called several things. They're not so much like what's his face from the other week about, like, attacking things with cold. They're really just, they're from a cold place, and they're cyborg.
And
They've got
what?
armor that's built in, and they've got circuitry that's built into their central nervous systems.
Okay. I also one thing I don't know. I was thinking off my head now, thinking of um obviously the Sandmen have been it's created by mankind, and and I'm thinking, does the Ice Warrior have that same thing that we do with like dust on their eyes? And if they didn't, I was thinking, if they didn't have that problem, would the
Yeah.
Sandmen even attack them if they're
Well,
collecting that type
the
of?
fact the thing is that if we're one on one, now
Yeah,
if we have multiple of them, it's different. But if it's
yeah,
one
that's
on
true.
one, you don't want them breaking up to make you go to sleep, because then they're broken up
Yeah.
and they can no longer. Now you're asleep, but they can no longer drag you into them.
Mm.
So, if there's multiple of them, you've got two Sandmen, then one of them can make everybody else go to sleep, and one of them start, yanking ice
Yeah, that's true.
warriors into them. But I mean, that tactic can only be used if there's more than one.
More than one, yeah. So I'm really I don't know this one. The Ice Warrior
It's
obviously
not.
is a warrior. It wants to fight. It wants to, but
Yeah.
then you got something like a Sandman that's hunting for its prey, basically. So they're both equal, like in the way of
Yeah.
they would start fighting, I believe. But if the
Oh, yeah, they
Sandman
would fight.
only had to just touch you and bring you in, um,
Yeah.
it would consume you, wouldn't it? That's their weapon, isn't it? So Ice Warrior, does it have any weapons with them? Like I was thinking again, like
They've
sidearms
had
or.
they've had various weapons, but because there've been lots of different
Mhm.
permutations of them. Like the Silurians, actually, there's loads of different kinds of Silurians. But um, the um, I mean, do weapons harm the Sandmen? I mean, they're
That's yeah, that is
collective stand.
because the only reason why they were defeated when they is bum 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 they that's it because they were in space when they on a
Yeah,
spacecraft,
they were.
and the Doctor and Clara um, destroyed the space station, the gravity shields,
Yeah.
and they destroyed all the remaining Morpheus pods where
Yeah,
they
so they can create
put them to
more of
sleep.
them.
Yeah, and yeah, well, obviously, yeah, if you the only way defeating something is to literally destroy the entire spacecraft, just to
Yeah.
destroy something. I think they're quite good with the defense, you know.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think Sandmen would sadly go through. I love the Ice Warriors, but
Yeah, the Ice Warriors are really fun, and I like the cyborg nature of them. It's just
it's a really hard enemy to fight each other.
probably
Yeah,
the answer. Plus, like I said, because they're not in an actively cooled environment,
yeah.
they're gonna be slower.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they can't shoot them, like, I mean, what do? Try to tear them to bits constantly or for every moment as they reconstitute? Like it's just a difficult. It's like I said,
Yeah,
I mean, like they're the idea of it is like you're wading through sand. Like I mean,
yeah.
um,
Exactly.
all you can do is keep doing it. So
No,
I
no.
think that if there's going to be somebody who definitively wins, it's probably going to be the Sandman.
I agree. I agree. So sadly, the Ice Warrior, unfortunately, you have lost this battle,
It's a shame.
and it is a shame. And the Sandman, you're going through.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully they're never up against the Vash Narada. I don't even know what would happen then.
Yeah, all the Dream Lord. That'd be an interesting one.
That would be weird.
No,
When they
hopefully,
green, I don't know. That'd be really
that's
strange.
another epic discussion there. But
Yeah, these are things that are potential stalemates, unfortunately.
right,
What do
so
you do?
well, that was quite a good um group, I think.
Yeah,
Um, so in the beginning,
it was faster than I thought as well. I thought that
yeah.
last one was going to take a little bit longer because it's a
So we
rough
have
one.
the Savine, and so these are the winners of part 4. We have Savine, you have gone through. There's Sakorax, yeah, you have gone through, and the Teller, and the Sandman or Sandman. But yeah, that. Even they would have been good, you know, candidates for another battles to each other. What would you
Mhm.
think would be interesting between those 4? Now that's gone through.
I think the Sandmen would be difficult against the Teller because
Yes,
they don't have a brain.
yes, that's true.
But they also, I mean, yeah, they don't have a brain, so that would be a difficulty. I'd like to see this Slovene versus Sycorax, frankly.
Yeah,
So I
that'd
feel
be
like there's
cool.
more battle going on there, like
Yeah.
more potential for like strategy and stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. I'd also like to see the Celine versus the Sandman, just because I'd like to see the Celine at a slight disadvantage ever, because they're, you know, 8 foot
Yeah,
tall,
I think
you
that's
like hunting
interesting.
people.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I think that'd be a good battle, definitely. Right,
Yeah.
so we uh, we have finished all the groups, Liz. So our next video is going to be slightly different. I've been thinking of ideas,
Good.
and I will put them all in a Hunger Games environment, basically. So the next video is going to be a bit different. They're not all
Yeah.
going to be against each other separately. They're all going to be
Okay.
against each other like the Hunger Games would be.
Oh,
Like
I see.
so.
Okay.
I'm
I'll take some more
keeping.
thought.
I'm keeping an. I'm just mocking up a map of the big
Yeah.
the battlefield where they're going to be doing it, and it's all
But
going to be
we're like going back to
different
this,
terrains, different terrains as well.
yeah. No, this
But
reminds me of the Five Doctors when they're outside Rassilon's tower and they've got like all those different things that used to be, brought in, gladiator style to fight each other.
I know I might have to watch the episode to get some ideas from
Yeah.
that as well.
Oh,
Then
it's fun. It's fun. There's
yeah,
the Five Doctors. I mean, it has, four doctors. Well, sort of. Because one of them was a replacement, obviously, because William Hartnell was no longer with us,
of
and
course,
Tom
yeah.
Beggs wasn't doing. But three of them were there.
Cool. I will definitely try and check. Well,
That was fun.
at the moment, I'm I've started from episode 1, the
Oh
original.
wow! Great.
And
Yeah. Well,
I'm
yeah,
going by episode because I
yeah.
remember a few, but
Mhm.
I was a teenager when I was like looking at these episodes and
Yeah.
just like, and I've watched them all out of order, so that's really confused.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't
So
recommend that. Not the old stuff.
yeah, so I've started from the very beginning, and I'm
Good.
in 1 week of watching them, I'm already on episode 26, I think. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. So
flying by them all,
but I
and
also love that the very second story arc was
yeah,
the dollar.
yeah. When I first
Like
saw them,
it
I
didn't
was
take
so
any time
happy.
at all.
I was so happy when I saw them. Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah. Because the first like it's cavemen, it's just like, oh well, human history,
yeah,
whatever. And then
cavemen
you
with
learn
Shakespearean
like
accents. Yeah,
yeah, and oh yeah. Well, I mean, this is the BBC in the 60s.
it is.
You
Yeah,
expect it to do, but the but when you get like the second one, suddenly you're on Scarrow, and
yeah.
it's really
And
fun.
yeah, it's I think incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that at the moment. So hopefully
Oh, that's fun.
I'll maybe just scan ahead just to see that episode with the five doctors, I think, just to get some ideas for
Yeah,
next.
that one happened in the Peter Davidson
Peter
era.
Davison. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the one who's like the doctor at the time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put them all in this place.
Good.
Um this top secret place,
Yeah.
with obviously if people seen the Hunger Games, they just basically make their lives hell in this arena. They start putting all these elements in, but
Okay.
some of
I've
them
not
team
read
up with each
I've not
other.
read them. So,
That'd be interesting. I thought that will
yeah.
help us as well. What monster would team up with what monster, just
Yeah.
to go against the others?
And what
Um,
monsters have historically
yeah,
teamed up with what monsters?
exactly.
Because that
Oh,
has
look at
definitely
that.
been a thing that's happened.
That's true. Right. So I will leave it there. I won't give anything away, um, but it should be a bit more fun. So, Liz, thank
Let's
you
pick a word.
very much once again, from
Absolutely.
your TARDIS there. Secrecy. Um, yeah, thank you once again, Liz. Thank you, everyone, for watching Who versus Who. This is goodbye from me and Liz. We'll see you next time in the future.